Every morning offers you a choice far greater than the clothes you wear or the tasks you plan. It is the choice to remember who you are and the power you hold. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are not defined by numbers on a screen or the opinions of others. You are the operant power, the silent cause behind every effect in your world. And if you dare to assume a new identity, to feel a new truth, then life must rearrange itself to reflect that assumption. This is not wishful thinking, it is spiritual law. The world you wake up to is shaped not by chance, but by consciousness. So if you desire to live richly, you must begin by being rich in feeling, in thought, and awareness. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Because to act as if you wake up rich every morning is to declare with quiet authority that your inner world is the master, and the outer must obey. Let us now explore the keys that unlock this truth. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you assume. Long before it shows itself in your bank account or your home, it lives quietly in the unseen world of your imagination. What you hold in consciousness, what you believe to be true of yourself in the silent chambers of your mind, eventually hardens into the facts of your life. The world outside is simply a mirror, casting back to you your most consistent inner assumption. If you want to change the reflection, you must first change the image you hold within. There are many who toil endlessly, exhausting themselves in the pursuit of money, yet never break through the invisible ceiling of lack. Why? Because their labor is fueled by the assumption of poverty. They work not from the belief that they are already wealthy, but from the fear that they never will be. And so, despite all effort, they recreate the same condition over and over. Their outer world stubbornly reflects their inner state. Imagination is not idle fantasy. It is the creative power of the universe operating through you. When you imagine with conviction, when you feel the reality of your wish fulfilled, you are planting seeds in the fertile soil of your subconscious. And just as surely as seeds placed in the earth bring forth trees, your inner assumptions will sprout into visible results. Look around you. Everything you see, from the chair you sit in to the numbers in your account, is evidence of what you have assumed, consciously or unconsciously. You may say, but I never wanted this lack, and that may be true. But it is not desire that shapes your world. It is belief. The beliefs you hold without question, the quiet assumptions you entertain daily, form the mold into which life pours itself. To shift your financial experience, you must revise the image of yourself you carry in your mind. You must see yourself as already wealthy, not tomorrow, not in some distant future, but now. Close your eyes and dwell in that reality. Feel what it's like to walk through your home knowing everything is paid for. Hear the sound of abundance in your voice. See your hands holding the results of a life lived richly. Do not concern yourself with how this will happen. The how belongs to the unseen intelligence that governs creation. Your role is to assume, feel, and persist. When the assumption is fixed, when it becomes more real to you than what your senses report, the world outside must obey. Your morning is more than just the beginning of a new day. It is the opening act of a script you are writing, consciously or unconsciously. The moment you awaken, you step onto the stage of consciousness with a choice: to rehearse the past or to create a new. That first feeling you allow to take root in your mind sets the tone for everything that follows. If you wake and instantly recall yesterday's worries, if you begin your day by checking your phone, your bills, or your problems, you are anchoring your future to your past. You are binding your potential to a script you've already lived. But if you can catch yourself in that delicate moment before the mind becomes busy, if you can take command of your mood before the world makes its demands, you can shift everything. That first feeling, that initial vibration, is the spark that ignites the rest of your day. And a spark, though small, contains the power to light an entire fire. Begin your day assuming the feeling of wealth, success, and ease. Not because these conditions already exist in the outer world, but because your inner world is the cause. What you feel becomes what you see. You must train yourself to meet the morning, not with reaction, but with intention. Before you rise, lie still and deliberately enter the feeling of being all that you wish to be. Imagine waking up in your ideal home with all your needs met, your desires fulfilled, your heart at peace. Let that feeling wash over you. Let it fill your breath, your heartbeat, your awareness. Do not simply think it. Feel it as if it were the most natural thing in the world. When you carry that emotional state into the day, you will notice a subtle but powerful shift. You speak with more clarity. You walk with more confidence. You attract the right words, people, and circumstances without force. Why? Because the day has no choice but to obey the mood you planted at its birth. Just as a seed determines the fruit, the feeling with which you begin your day shapes the events that unfold. This is not superstition or fantasy, it is law. Your consciousness precedes experience. The world responds not to your effort, but to your energy. If you assume richness of spirit in the morning, life will bring you opportunities to match that richness. If you rise feeling defeated, life will echo that back in countless ways. Morning is not a routine, it is a sacred ritual. Make it a prophecy of abundance. You are not a passive observer of this world. You are its co-creator. The very same power that set galaxies spinning, that breathed life into all form, lives and moves through your awareness. It is not separate from you. It is not distant or hidden or reserved for the few. It is the essence of who you are. When you become aware of this, truly aware, you awaken to a new kind of life, one where circumstances no longer rule you, because you understand that they proceed from you. This infinite creative power expresses itself through your consciousness. It takes the shape of your assumptions, molds itself around your beliefs, and flows in the direction of your dominant emotional state. It does not discriminate between good or bad, rich or poor, worthy or unworthy. It simply creates what you accept as true. You do not need to beg this power, nor must you earn its favor. It is already yours. The question is not whether you possess it, but whether you are using it consciously. Most people move through life asleep to this truth. They accept appearances as fact, not knowing that appearances are the effect, not the cause. But you, now awakened, are called to a higher understanding. You realize that your world is not happening to you, it is happening through you. The thoughts you repeat, the images you dwell upon, the feelings you nurture, these are the molds into which the infinite pours itself. And nothing activates this power more swiftly, more directly, than the feeling of already having that which you desire when you identify with the state of being rich, not wishfully, but naturally. You call forth the infinite and creative response. It is not the words you speak or the effort you exert that change your world, but the inner stance you take. Assume the identity of wealth, and you shift the energetic blueprint through which life organizes itself around you. To feel rich is to be rich in the realm of cause. And what is real in cause must express itself in effect. You need not know how the outer circumstances will rearrange themselves. That is the work of the creative intelligence within you. Your task is to remain faithful to the inner knowing that it is already done. When you walk in that feeling, speak from that feeling, and rest in that feeling, you are no longer waiting for wealth. you are living it. The power of the infinite is not accessed through striving, but through alignment. Transformation does not occur because you merely think about change. It happens when you feel from the new state. Thought alone is not enough, for thought is dry, detached, and often fleeting. But feeling carries weight. Feeling is the language of the subconscious, the creative force that shapes reality. It is not the cold logic of your mind that the universe responds to. It is the living vibration of your inner emotional state. Whatever you feel deeply and consistently to be true, the world reflects back to you in form. Many believe that if they repeat affirmations or visualize outcomes, their lives will change. But unless these practices stir real feeling within, they are little more than empty ritual. The key lies in embodying the state you desire. You must not only imagine wealth, you must feel wealthy, not as a distant hope, but as a present truth. The emotions you cultivate, those you truly live in, are the blueprint from which your life is constructed. To feel poor, anxious, or uncertain, even while trying to think positive thoughts, is to create from a divided state. And a house divided against itself cannot stand. But when your thoughts and your feelings are unified, when you not only think wealth, but feel it in your body, your breath, your movements, you enter into a harmony that begins to shift everything. You become magnetic to the conditions that reflect that inner richness. This is not about pretending you're putting on a mask. It is about accepting fully and sincerely that the state you desire is already yours in consciousness. You must become so saturated with the feeling of having that your entire being responds as if it were already true. Walk as the wealthy walk. Think as the wealthy think. But above all, feel as the wealthy feel. It is not performance, it is embodiment. The subconscious does not argue, it does not question whether your feelings are supported by facts. It only accepts what you feel to be true, and then it sets in motion the events, people, and circumstances that will make that truth visible in your world. So if you would transform your life, begin not with action, but with feeling. Let the emotional tone of your day be set by the reality you wish to experience. The world will catch up, it must. For what you feel as real, you give life to. And what you give life to cannot remain hidden. It must express itself. The senses are the servants of past assumptions. They report only what has already been impressed upon the outer world by your inner state. So if you desire true transformation, you must learn to ignore what they presently show you. This does not mean you deny reality. It means you do not let it dictate your belief. The world you see is only a reflection of what you once felt to be true. It is the echo, not the voice. To live by the senses is to remain a prisoner of the past. But to live by faith in your assumption is to create a new future. When you begin to assume wealth, success, and abundance, the outer world may resist you. You might still see bills, lack, or limitation. The facts may seem to argue against your new belief. But you must persist, not in force or struggle, but in inner conviction. You hold to your assumption, not because the senses affirm it, but because you know the creative power does not originate in appearances. It begins in awareness. This is where many falter. They say, I tried to feel wealthy, but nothing changed. Yet the moment they checked the bank account or glanced at the unpaid invoice, they abandoned the state they were cultivating. They returned to the evidence of lack, and so they recreated. The truth is simple. What you persist in feeling will eventually shape your world, but you must remain loyal to the unseen long enough for it to take form. Persistence is the secret. Faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. If you hold your inner vision steadily, if you continue to feel the truth of your wealth, regardless of what the world currently shows, you will summon unseen forces to bring it forth. The world cannot help but rearrange itself to mirror your sustained inner conviction. Understand this: the senses are late to the party. They always arrive after the assumption has taken root. Do not wait for them to confirm your new state. Confirm it within. Feel it now, speak from it now. Act as though it were already so, and the outer world will be compelled to respond. It is not magic, it is law. The unseen must become seen when belief is unwavering. What you feel consistently becomes substance. The world bends to the shape of your inner knowing, not instantly, but inevitably. So close your eyes when the world tries to distract you. Return again and again to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That is your true reality. Everything else is merely catching up. To live the end from the beginning is to step into the truth of your desire before the world is caught up. It is to act, feel, and think, not as someone becoming wealthy, but as one who already is. You are not hoping, not wishing, not waiting. You are being. This is the great secret of manifestation. Creation is already finished. All possibilities exist now. The life you long for is not being built step by step. It is already complete in the invisible realm. You do not create it. You select it by aligning your state of consciousness with it. Most people move through life asking, how can I get there? But this question implies separation. It assumes the end is far away. The truth is, the end is only distant if you continue to place it in the future. Instead, assume it now. Bring it close. Enter into the feeling of already having. And when you dwell on that feeling, the path reveals itself, not through effort, but through alignment. Your inner world is the cause. Your outer world is the effect. So do not wait for circumstances to change before you change your identity. Change your identity, and the circumstances will rearrange to match it. Begin your day not by asking, what must I do to become rich? But by declaring, I am rich. I am successful. I am supported. Let that be the state from which you act. Walk as the wealthy walk, not with arrogance, but with ease. Speak with calm authority. Make decisions from a place of abundance, not fear. Even if the outer world seems unchanged, persist. The shift happens first in the unseen. Reality bends to your assumption, not your effort. It must follow the blueprint you hold within. When you live the end from the beginning, you no longer look to the world for confirmation. You give confirmation through your every thought and action. And in doing so, you call forth the unseen indivisibility. You collapse time. What might have taken years through striving becomes inevitable through alignment. Stop asking when. Start assuming now. The version of you who already has what you desire, does not chase, does not worry, does not doubt. That version simply is. Embody that state and you summon its reflection. Speak from it. Move from it. Rest in it. When you live as though it is already done, you declare to life, this is who I am, and life answers, so be it. You do not need to wait for wealth to appear before you feel it. You are not here to chase riches. You are here to awaken to the truth that all you seek already exists within you. The outer world, with all its seeming limitations, is but a reflection of your inner convictions. Change those convictions and the world must follow. Assume the feeling of being rich, not as fantasy, but as a fact. Carry it in your heart, wear it in your posture, and breathe it into every word you speak. Persist in this inner knowing. Do not be swayed by appearances, for they are shadows of yesterday's beliefs. You have within you the power that formed the stars, and it waits only for your direction. So rise each morning not with doubt, but with the quiet confidence of one who already has. Live as though the promise is fulfilled, because in truth, it already is.